Hello, I'm Julian Whittle from Cumbria Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here with Justine Douglas, one of the advisors with Cumbria Business Growth Hub. Justine specialises in helping business startups under the Growth Hub's Business Startup Support, or BSUS programme, and the new Enterprise Allowance programme. Justine, tell me about BSUS and how it works.
Okay, so BSUS is Business Startup Support Programme, and it is a project that is funded by the European Regional Development Fund. And clients can access the BSUS support through either pre-start or post-start support.
Right, so if you've already started the business, you can still get help.
Yes, you can, yes. So pre-start support is a business that has not yet started trading. So trading is classed as money passing hands. Mm-hmm. So a client can contact the Cumbria Chamber of Commerce, and they may have perhaps have a business idea that they have just started thinking about, or they could be at a different stage in that perhaps they have an idea that is very, very well thought through and very well planned. So they can access the pre-start, and then the post-start are businesses that have started trading 0 to 3 years.
Right.
So part of the support is clients will receive up to 12 hours support and advice, and that is in the form of one-to-one with a business advisor.
Someone like you.
So yes, so like myself. And what we would do is we would find out all about the business idea, find out at what stage the client was at with regards to either starting their business or if their business had already started, and finding out, doing a diagnostic to find out what their needs were and where we can assist and where we can support them as well. So we can spend up to 12 hours with the client, so looking at lots of different areas and elements with regards to starting, but not only starting but developing their business as well. Within that 12 hours as well, clients can also access a 3-day business startup course, and the business startup course is run by the Chamber of Commerce, and it's delivered at various locations throughout Cumbria, and it's a 3-day course and looking at introduction to business startup. So for example, what is the legal status, looking at the difference between sole trader, partnership, limited company, etc. Looking at the legalities with regards to registering a company, HMRC, registering with HMRC, looking at insurances, terms and conditions, etc. That is the first day, which is the introduction. There is another day which is all about accounts.
Yeah.
So what records do we need to keep and why and for how long, etc. And also there is another day with regards to marketing.
Yeah.
So whereby clients will gain lots of tips and advice around different ways to market and promote their business and their brand as well. So the support is through one-to-one with an advisor. There's also the 3-day business course that the clients can attend. Yeah. And there are also other training events available on all aspects of starting the business.
And the one-to-one support and the 3-day course are free, aren't they? So
yes,
there's no charge.
Yes.
So that's a great thing.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Now, what about new Enterprise Allowance? What's that?
Okay, so new Enterprise Allowance, or NEA, as some people may hear it referred to, is a scheme that was introduced by the government, and it helps people who are on benefits who have shown an interest in starting their business. So what happens is the Chamber of Commerce work very closely with the job centres. Yeah. And they run workshops. So they run the Link Up Startup workshop, which is the first stage of the process.
Yes.
So when a client has indicated to their job coach or work coach that they are interested in starting a business, they are referred to the Cumbria Chamber of Commerce and they attend a half-day Link Up Startup workshop, which in Carlisle and Workington, I actually deliver myself.
Right.
So this covers all aspects with regards to starting your own business. So what do they need to know? So it looks at the benefits and challenges, the pitfalls, again looks at all the legalities, and also, for example, what do they need to know with regards to running a business from home, running a business from a premises, looks at startup costs. And the purpose of the workshop is to provide clients with that information before they then go through to the next stage, because some clients might decide that the NEA isn't actually for them.
Yeah, it's not self-employment isn't for everyone. So it's really the journey from unemployed to self-employed.
Yes.
The important thing, you have to be referred by a job centre. You can't come direct to the chamber. And the other thing is that, we were talking about BSUS earlier. A lot of people who are on new Enterprise Allowance also go on to BSUS, don't they?
Yes, they do.
It's not an either or.
Yes, they do. And also, with regards to the clients coming from the job centre, so the first process is to attend the Link Up Startup workshop, half-day workshop. Then they go back to their work coach and ask for a referral back to the Chamber of Commerce. And what happens there is a one-to-one interview with a business advisor, so somebody like myself, and we assess their business idea. So we assess their idea to ensure that it's a realistic but also a viable business idea. So after they have attended the one-to-one interview, if they are accepted onto the programme from that interview, because of course there is certain criteria, if they are accepted on, they then spend time with a business advisor or mentor, and they have to create, as part of the scheme, they have to create a business plan and cash flow forecast. So so the advisor or mentor would assist them to do that. So we would spend time with the client and we would help them and guide them to develop their business plan, so that it is then in a position that when it is submitted, it is likely to be approved. So we work with them very closely on that. And then once their business plan has been approved, the client that goes through the NEA scheme has a period of time that they can then continue to complete actions perhaps that have come up from or that have come out of the business plan. And then once they start trading, they then receive a weekly payment, which is the new Enterprise Allowance.
And I think they can also apply for a loan as well, can't
Yes,
they?
they can. Yes, they can. Yeah, there is a loan as well.
So that's financial help. It's a good scheme.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now, the Growth Hub has around 60 advisors, of which you're one, and all of them run their own business, so they understand what it's like at the sharp end in business. So what's your business, Justine, and what particular areas of expertise do you have?
So my business, Julian, is CTS, and CTS stands for Cumbria Training Services.
Yeah.
And I set up my business 8 years ago, and CTS focuses on the entire customer experience. So we will go into any business in any industry, and we will look at and observe levels of service delivery. So it could be perhaps face-to-face, over the phone, via email, looking at websites, other platforms as well, and looking at perhaps one-to-one coaching and guiding with individuals, team coaching and guiding, and also delivering workshops. So workshops could be workshops and training on any area to do with the customer experience. So what we look at is not just to give an okay, or a good experience. We look at how that business, so in any industry, whether it's vets, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a farm park, whether it's lawyers, so look at that industry and look at how they can give exceptional service to their their customers, to their clients, to their guests.
And you even do mystery shopping exercises, don't you?
I do, yes. I do mystery shopping visits, perhaps telephone calls, sending emails. So really, by discussing that with the client to see what the client needs, what the client wants, and looking at how I can best identify the current levels of service that business delivers, because that's an excellent way for me to see that, because I go in as a customer. So I put myself into the customer's shoes and see what they see, but equally experience what they experience as well.
I mean, I suppose because every business has customers, obviously, so your expertise is something that every business can use.
Yes.
Now actually, I know that in a former job you were once an air hostess. So are there any lessons learned from that career that you can apply to assist businesses?
Well, yes, I would take lots of lessons from the airline industry, looking at cabin crew, looking at cabin crew walking through an airport, walking to the aircraft, on board the aircraft, looking at their image and their appearance. So lots of standards in place, lots of standards and procedures in place.
Yeah.
So having those standards in place enforces consistency as well. So lots of standards, lots of consistency to portray that image as well. So that image is yes, with regards to cabin crew, the way that cabin crew look, but with regards to a business as well, how does that business look as well? I think first impressions are vitally important as well, and being cabin crew on board an aircraft, it was essential that as soon as customers, we used to call them passengers and then changed to customers, because of course they are, as soon as customers boarded the aircraft, as soon as we can see them either walking through the air bridge or walking up the steps, we immediately had to stop what we were doing and greet them. And it was a warm welcome. It was hello, good morning, lovely to see you, perhaps lovely to see you again.
Yes.
If we
recognise them.
Recognise them. So the meet and greet is vitally important. The first impressions are essential, not just for airline, of course, but for any business. As an airline, we wanted our customers to come back to us. We didn't want them to go to any of our competitors. We wanted them to come back to us, but time and time again. So that is no different from businesses.
From any business.
Yes, because if you do not look after your customers, then somebody else will, and that is
it's a good maxim, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
So let's get down to the nitty gritty here. So somebody comes to see you in your role as a growth hub advisor, and they've got an idea for a business. What happens next?
Okay. Well, I will be sent details of a client, so I will contact the client. I'll give them a ring and I'll introduce myself. So of course that is your meet and greet. So I'll introduce myself. I will tell them who I am and my role, and arrange a convenient time and date to meet them to discuss their business idea. So when I then meet the client, I tend to meet clients either at the Carlisle Cumbria Chamber of Commerce office or at the office in Workington at Energus. So I will meet the clients there, and again, depending how much of a conversation we've had on the telephone, because sometimes the conversations can be quite lengthy, depending what has been discussed, I will briefly introduce my role as business advisor, but introduce the support available. So I will discuss again with them what is available, and then find out about themselves as well. So what I want to know about them is all about their business. And what I often say to clients is, tell me what your business looks like. So, and finding out what stage they are actually at, and assessing what they need. So finding out what type of advice that will be of most benefit to them in the time that we have available as well. Often often clients they are very passionate, very excited about their businesses. So there's lots of things that come out of a conversation. So it's really looking at all the different areas and discussing with them. You know, I see that you're, for example, you're interested in looking at promoting your business through different social media channels, perhaps. Looking at accountancy advice, perhaps there's a lack of skill there. So really looking at what I can offer, but also looking at what advice and support can be offered as well through the 3-day business course, because there's an awful lot that the client can benefit from attending the course as well. So not necessarily spending all the time with the client myself.
Yeah, it's a very flexible. It comes across as a very flexible scheme then. So it's not a question of you sort of lecturing to them. You're listening to them, finding out exactly what help they need, identifying that,
yes,
and then obviously pointing them in the right direction.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the businesses that you've worked with and how you've been able to help them.
Okay, so I've been a business advisor for 3 years now, and I heavily involved with the BSUS programme and also the NEA programme. So I have interacted with multiple businesses. So from perhaps dog grooming businesses to personal trainers. I have helped a couple set up a business related to psychometric testing.
Right.
Marketing consultants, beauty therapists. So the list goes on and on. So I had a very interesting client who was setting up a business offering ghost tours as well, and that was really interesting. So as a business advisor, it's great. It's great to have the different businesses as well, you know. So for us, it's not all the same. So having that variety is really good. So lots of different businesses. To give you an example of one, there is a lovely lady who came to us for business support, and on the first meeting we identified that she was already trading. She had her first customer. Yeah. So she had her first customer receipt, and she had received money from the customer, and she was so excited, and she was 16.
Oh wow.
She was only 16. So her business was a makeup. She was a makeup artist, so it was makeup and beauty as well. And perhaps because she was only 16, she was looking for assistance in lots of areas with regards to starting a business.
I bet.
So started right at the very beginning, looking at all of the elements, from registering with HMRC, which she hadn't already done, which was fine. So what I actually did with this particular lady was I sat with her while she registered. So I talked her through it, but she actually did it while I was there as well, which was great for her as well. So then looking at all the different elements throughout starting a business and giving her support. So she maximised all the support available. She, I believe, also attended the 3-day business course as well, and she's attended perhaps various different events as well. So yes, so for my role as a business advisor, to interact and engage with clients is great, because I can see the value that I am adding to their businesses, but also to them as well, because it's building their confidence.
It's very brave to start a business at 16. Is she still trading?
She is still trading, yes.
Brilliant.
Yes. And it is very brave. I don't know if I could have started at 16. I actually didn't start my business until I was over 40.
So, I think it's more common, because we've done quite a bit on people in their 50s and 60s starting businesses. So 16 is the other end of the scale.
It is.
Now, do you work with, you mentioned Workington and meeting businesses in Workington and Carlisle. Do you work with businesses all over Cumbria?
Yes, I do. I do. I focus on the Carlisle and the West Coast. However, if I am asked if I can support a client in a different area, then then yes, I'm happy to do so.
And of course, the Growth Hub has other advisors in the south of the county anyway, so the whole of the county is covered by the service. Now, what would you say are the most common pitfalls or mistakes, traps that people starting a business can fall into?
From my experience meeting clients, I would say that one of the main areas would be that people tend to rush things.
Naturally.
So clients can rush starting their business without taking advantage of the support that is available. But I guess it's not necessarily taking advantage of it because actually maybe they don't even know about it.
Yeah.
So I have personal experience of that myself, because when I started my business, I was very excited. I wanted to get up and running as quickly as possible, and I did things that cost me time and cost me money. I didn't take business advice. I didn't see a business advisor. I didn't go on any courses until actually a year into my business. So even though I did do things that did cost me time and money, I've actually reflected on it and I've actually learned from it as well. So whereby things perhaps did cost me time, that particular area, it's actioned, and then I've moved on to a different area. So,
but if the sort of advice you give to businesses had been available to you, or you'd known about it,
yes,
then you might have saved yourself time and money.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think, and as a business owner, they are both vitally important.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about the money. The time is vitally important. So spending time on things that actually there would perhaps be a quicker, an easier, a smoother, a better way to do it. But yes, so I believe that one of the mistakes is people do rush things, and actually sitting back and planning. So very, very carefully planning each stage of the business. So perhaps by creating a business plan,
yes,
is a very good way to actually to do this.
That.
So to plan and to prepare. Now, had I done this, then yes, then I would have saved time. However, it's great because I can share this. I can share this with others as well.
They can learn from your mistakes.
Yes, they can. Yes.
Yeah.
I think as well, Julian, because I think people can also undervalue themselves as well. So when they look at their pricing, their pricing structure, it is very easy once you first start your business, especially if you've never been in business before, and if you have been employed, whether it's for a few years or for many years. Actually starting your business and looking at pricing can be one of the biggest challenges that people have. And actually pricing your products and services, people do tend to undervalue either that product or themselves.
And they can underestimate their overheads as well, can't they?
They can, absolutely. Yes. So creating a business plan which covers all areas, from who are your customers, where do they come from, where will they buy off you, to pricing and costing and startup costs, so many different areas. By creating the business plan, putting it down on paper, if you like, rather than having it all in your head, then by actually doing that will give them a lot more focus and a lot more structure, and then actually make them see, is this actually a realistic and viable business?
Okay. So what advice then, just to end on this note, what advice would you give to anyone about to start a business?
Okay, so leading on from what I mentioned there, I think the best advice is don't rush things.
Yeah. So
think things through, plan your business, look at every opportunity available, but also look at the threats. So what are the risks, what are the threats to the business? And by planning, by identifying the risks and the threats, you can then put contingencies in place as well. So my best advice would be don't rush things. Where possible, look at creating a business plan in some shape or form. It doesn't have to be a big, comprehensive 20-page business plan. It could be a 2 or 3 page plan. So by doing that, making sure that you have got all the essential elements, that you've covered everything, that you have looked at your competitors, that you know what they offer, you know what their pricing is, you know who your target audience is, you know how you're going to market, to get everything in the best place possible, the best position possible, so that you are ready to start your business.
That's great advice. Thanks, Justine.
Thank you.